YM Corp can manufacture golfing shoes for $35.85 per pair in variable material costs and $26.45 in variable labor expenses. Shoe sells for $165. Last year production was 145,000 pairs and fixed costs were $1.75 million. What were the total production costs? What is the marginal cost per pair? What is the average cost? If the company is considering a one-time order for an extra 5,000 pairs, what is the minimum acceptable total revenue from the order? So let's just define variable costs for a moment. We have two. We have the variable raw material and the variable labor. So variable costs are changes based on production so if you have zero production, you have zero variable costs. Our fixed costs, on the other hand, are the opposite. The cost you incur no matter what. So you make no matter what. So if you make $0 in shoes, if you make 0 shoes, you still pay your rent. If you produce 1,000,000 pairs of shoes, you still pay the same rent. Doesn't matter if you make a lot. As long as, or a little, your fixed cost will not change. So if we're looking at our total production costs, our total costs, or our TC, is equal to our variable costs plus our fixed costs. Our variable costs are going to be $35.85 plus $26.45 times however many shoes we produced, which was 145,000. Plus 1,750,000. We've got 9,033,500 plus 1,000,007, which equals 10,783,500. So that determines our total production cost. But what is the marginal cost per pair? So let's discuss marginal cost. So what is marginal cost? It's the cost to produce one more, or your next item. So if you've produced already 145,000 pairs, what is the cost to produce your 145,000 first pair? Well, in this scenario, it's going to just be the same as our variable cost. It's just going to be $26.45 plus $35.85. So our marginal cost is $62.30. The next question asks, what is the average cost? So the average cost includes everything, all of the costs. This will help you with your pricing, and so you can get a sense of what everything actually costs to create. And so we can take our total cost, our TC, we can divide it by how many shoes we produced, which was 145,000 pairs. And we get an average cost of $74.37. Now our last question asks us, what is the minimum acceptable total revenue from the order? So the minimum acceptable total revenue that is going to be for 5,000 pairs. So all it's going to be is our variable costs multiplied by 5,000 pairs. So this, the very minimum, would have us at least consider the order, even though we don't do anything to reduce the amount we spend on our fixed costs. And there's a number of reasons that why a company might, and it might be because they would have to lay off their staff if they couldn't keep them busy for a few weeks. Could be a number of reasons. So even though you're not going to be as high as your average cost, you would consider it. At the very least, consider. Now, if you had, a busy factory, you wouldn't need to just cover your cost, but sometimes businesses will look to just cover their cost and nothing else. So this is the minimum that at least you won't lose money by taking this job. And so that's just 6230 times 5,000, and it's 311,500.